A little while ago, I made a video on making charcuterie boards like this one, and all these other ones too. Now, as the final step in the finishing of the charcuterie boards, I use this product that I made. That's called board balm, board butter, board cream. Cutting board oil? No, cutting board conditioner. All of them, they're the same thing. I'm gonna show you how to make it. For making the board balm, we only need 2 ingredients. That's mineral oil and beeswax. Now you can add coconut oil if you'd like. The reason why I don't is because it goes rancid over time. And if I don't use that and just use the 2 products, it doesn't go rancid. Also, you can do blends of waxes like carnauba wax in there. I don't because I'm normally using this on butcher blocks, cutting boards, and charcuterie boards, which get washed. And so I want the oils and the wax to seep in as well as it can. So I don't really need that extra bit of durability that you might use on furniture. Now, here's for the super secret recipe. It's 4 parts mineral oil to 1 part wax.
Keep it secret. Keep it secret.
Now you don't have to stick to the 4-to-1 ratio. If you want something a little bit more like the Booz brand cream, I did an 8-to-1 and it feels a lot closer to that. I also, when I'm doing furniture, sometimes we'll use a 3-to-1 ratio, so it has a little bit more of those wax solids. But I think for our cutting boards and such, that the 4-to-1 is a nice compromise between wax solids and still being able to soak in that mineral oil. Now you can do this either volumetrically or with weight, depending on what you want to do. If you want to fit in one of these like 4-ounce containers, then you can do 1/3 cup of mineral oil with 2/3 of an ounce of the wax. Or you can just go with weight. That's what I like to do, and just do 80 grams of the mineral oil with 20 grams of the wax, and that works perfect. If there are other additives that work well in a product like this, put it down below in the comments so we can all upgrade our finishing game together. For method number 1, all we need is a microwave and a microwave safe container. I'm going to be using a mason jar because you can just keep it in here when you're done if you want. This is great for small batches, but you do have to be careful that you don't overcook it and ruin the wax. For the microwave, I like to mix the mineral oil and the wax together, and then I will cook it for 2 minutes on full power and see if the wax has started to melt. If not, I'll stir it and then cook it for another minute, and I'll repeat this until I can see that the wax has started to melt. In my microwave, this typically takes about 4 minutes of total cook time. At this point, I'll do it in 30-second increments, stirring in between each one until that wax is fully mixed in with the mineral oil. Then from here, you can just pour it into some other containers or leave it in your jar to solidify. The second method we're gonna do is gonna allow us to make a little bit more than just in the microwave, and that's gonna be on the stove. Now you could just use a single pot, but I really like using a double boiler, and that's to protect us because beeswax is a little bit temperamental. If we look at the MSDS for beeswax, we can see that we have to be above 62.8 degrees Celsius or 145 degrees Fahrenheit in order to melt the wax. But beeswax, you have to be really careful. If you get above around 80 degrees Celsius or like 175 degrees Fahrenheit, it'll start to discolor and degrade. And so we need to make sure that we don't go over that temperature either. For the double boiler, you want to add your water into the bottom pot, add on your top pot, and then just the mineral oil into that top pot. We're gonna warm up that mineral oil so it gets to around 165 degrees Fahrenheit or around 65 degrees Celsius. Once it's up to that temperature, you can add in your wax and then just make sure you stir it around until it's fully dissolved. Then you can take your pot and pour it into your smaller containers. The last method, we're gonna use an immersion circulator and we're gonna do sous vide on our board balm. This works really great if you wanna make a large amount and really wanna make sure that you don't overcook it, and it's super, super easy. This is my favorite way of doing it. When I'm doing sous vide, I like using these bigger jars. I can actually do 4 quarts at one time, which is really great for making a lot of this. You wanna mix all of your mineral oil and the wax together at one time, and then you can put that into your water bath. The water bath should come up to 170 degrees Fahrenheit or 75 degrees Celsius, so just a few degrees lower than that degradation temperature. And once it's up to there, you want it to sit for at least an hour. I recommend probably just letting it sit for 2 or 3. You're not gonna hurt it by letting it go longer. You'll see the wax rise up as it's melting, and once it's all there at the top melted, you just need to take it out of the water bath and then mix it up really good, and then you can just part it out into its individual containers. I hope this has been useful for you and you've been able to learn how to make this board balm. If you want to see it in use, it's in my charcuterie board video at the very end where I put it on the boards, and I really like this stuff. If you do end up making it, let me know on Instagram or even down in the comments what kind of ratio that you like to use. It'd be interesting just to see what everybody's doing. Thanks so much for watching and take care. I like using these mason jars. Oh, kern jars. Oh, it still says mason. Ball. Oh, mason is a type of jar, not the brand. I was correct in the first place.